Mr. Rutkowski, please share the summary of your novel with the audience.
This book is about a young soldier named Paul who's 18 years old and is drafted into the German army with 6 of his friends. They all are very excited to go into World War I, but they do not know the horrors of the war that lie ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Rutkowski. You may deliver your position statement.
Do you like freedom? I like freedom. My name is Reed Rutkowski, and I'm here to tell you why the book All Quiet on the Western Front should be banned. If you agree to ban this book, then you will be working to preserve our right and freedom. You may be thinking that banning a book is against your rights and freedom, but I am here to tell you that you are wrong. All Quiet on the Western Front tells a story about the terrible disease-filled trench war misery that soldiers experience. This book sends a message to its readers. This message is that if you're a soldier, you will have an existence filled with misery and pain until the day you die a violent death. Why would anyone who reads this book ever want to be a soldier? But we need soldiers. Soldiers preserve our freedom. Let's talk about garbage men. If I wrote a book about all the vile and disgusting things that garbage men experience, why would anyone want to be a garbage man? But we need garbage men. If no one was willing to serve as a garbage man and pick up our trash.
Thank you, Mr. Rutkowski. Your time is up.
Mr. Spiron, you may now deliver your position statement.
Banning books because you don't like what they say goes against humanity. The human race works when we all respect each other, even if it means you don't like what other people think. Basic human rights include the freedom of expression and the freedom of speech. Banning this book definitely takes those away. Kaiser Wilhelm's agenda was to glorify war, and this book did the opposite. It showed the reality of war and how devastating it is. In this case, banning this book would be banning the truth. All Quiet on the Western Front explains the harsh and horrible conditions of war. It doesn't encourage people to join the army. It also doesn't have much profanity, and where it does, it is to show the importance of Islam. Everyone has different ideas, and whether you are opposed to something morally or ethically, your rights are not greater than your fellow human beings' rights. We all have the right to disagree, but that should not turn into someone banning a book because they are against what it contains. Yesterday it was a book about war, tomorrow it can be a Harry Potter book because someone might say it's against the religion to read about magic.
Thank you, Mr. Spiron. Your time is up.
Mr. Rutkowski, you have 1 minute for your rebuttal.
I think that is very wrong. Because if we don't ban this book, then nobody would be soldiers. And if we don't have soldiers, we might as well just throw the entire Constitution away. Because we will be prone to attack, and everyone will try and attack us. And we will have to be ruled by another country. Also, we are known as a military power now, and we are a big target for attack. Without people willing to serve their country as soldiers, we will become weak, and everyone will tear us to shreds. All Quiet on the Western Front is against building the preservation of our rights and freedom, our ability to defend ourselves. For this reason, this book should be banned. Also, this book is terrible, and it has very gruesome, violent scenes, because sometimes it tells you when a person is stabbed, and it explains it with every little last detail, and it would scare.
Thank you, Mr. Rutkowski. Your time is up.
Mr. Spiron, you now have 1 minute for your rebuttal.
Too violent, too extreme, isn't the same as your ideas, and maybe doesn't get the message you want. Then don't read it, and don't try and stop others from reading it. Violence is a subjective thing. It's different to different people. What an Amish person considers violent is very different from what an inmate considers violent. Just because you don't believe in a certain thing or you think it is too violent, you should still not try and force other people to not read it. Did you know that All Quiet on the Western Front was banned by Adolf Hitler in all of Germany right before World War II? Adolf Hitler banned this book because he was about to start another war and he thought this book showed weakness in the German army. It wasn't banned because of bad language or inappropriate content. It was banned because Adolf Hitler didn't want the German army to be seen as weak.
Thank you, Mr. Spiron. Your time is up.
Mr. Rutkowski, you have an optional 30 seconds to conclude your thoughts.
I think this is very wrong because Adolf Hitler did ban this book, but it wasn't just because it struck fear. He thought it would strike fear in the hearts of all his soldiers, and if everybody read this book and nobody wanted to be soldiers, then he wouldn't be able to fight the war that he started.
Okay, thank you.
Also, this book is very violent, and although people should be able to read it, you should ban it.
Thank you, Mr. Rutkowski. Your time is up.
Mr. Spiron, you have an optional 30 seconds to conclude your thoughts.
To conclude, All Quiet on the Western Front is a classic novel that was originally written in German by a veteran of World War I. Basic human rights include freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Banning this book takes his word. If you think it's too violent, then don't read it. Also, don't try and stop others from reading it. Violence is a subjective thing. It's different to different people. That is why All Quiet on the Western Front should not have ever been written.
Thank you, Mr. Spiron. Your time is up.
Thank you, Mr. Rutkowski and Mr. Spiron, for participating.